So 2021 has started out a whole lot like 2020. The question is, how much longer until the bubble pops? Let's talk a little bit about it. This is Steve, real estate agent Keller Williams with the Malone Realty Group. So let's take a look at first kind of what happened in 2020 because we finally got the official numbers back from December of 2020. So that kind of rounds out the whole year, gives us a kind of a snapshot of what Corona and COVID-19 did to last year. And let's take a look at where we are right now because it's very interesting. Things I think are going to get more interesting over the next couple of months as far as the housing market goes, because where we are right now just cannot sustain this level. But let's first take a look. We just got the numbers in from the FMLS. These are numbers to officially round out what happened in 2020. So in December, the number of or the amount that the amount of closings, let's say, that were in December 2020 versus 2019, the number of closings was up about 9% between the 2 years. And the prices, which is pretty crazy, are up about 13% from what we saw in December versus what we saw of 2020 versus December of 2019. So those numbers are up 13%. That also, now that we're through December, now we can get a whole snapshot of what happened in 2020. We had 6% more closings in the metro Atlanta area last year in 2020 than we did in 2019. So even with basically a ground stop, for lack of a better term, of real estate closings and real estate happenings due to Corona, basically from like mid to late March through probably we'll call it mid to late May, things were very held back because of everybody being on lockdown, things like that. The market just came roaring back to finish out the year. And it was actually going pretty strong before we went into it, too. So at the end of the day, we actually ended up 6% higher last year than 2019, which is pretty remarkable. The amount that the prices were up year to date from 2020 to 2019 is right around, or is at 10%, which is kind of crazy that it was up 10% between those 2 years. When you factor in attached homes, which is townhomes and condos, probably looking something closer to 9% on the total. So prices up that high is great if you have a house, but the reality is we can't sustain that kind of growth year after year after year after year, because if it keeps going up 9%, 9%, 9% year after year, at some point the prices are going to be too high. You're going to price people out of the market and the whole thing's going to come tumbling down. So while it's great news in the short term, we do need a little bit of easing on that in the long term to keep us from having another bubble burst. And that's what we're looking forward to into 2021, is what is going to happen next. So the big things that are driving is the same three big things that have been driving everything that we've been talking about. It's been the interest rates, it's been the lack of inventory, and it's been COVID-19. So first, let's start with the buyers and the interest rates. Interest rates are still near historic lows. They're up a little bit, but they're not up appreciably. They're up just a little bit. So that being said, it's still an extremely good time to jump into the market. And there's a bunch of buyers that have missed due to the lack of inventory. So this is not like, we're recording this February 9th. This is not like what we typically see on February 9th. This is a full-sized group of buyers that are out there right now. This is a spring, summer push of buyers that are out there right now. And I'm telling you, I'm working with some buyers right now who, if it's priced right and it's in the right area, it's going to be multiple offers. And we're talking, 10, 20 offers in some points. And it's very hard right now if you are a buyer in this market. So that's really not changed a whole lot over the last several months. If anything, it's become worse. One of the reasons is, let's talk first about COVID-19. COVID-19 obviously has had an impact on the market because fewer people are selling right now. They just don't want people in their homes. We were hoping that, at this point, the numbers would be better and we would have a better turnout with the vaccines the vaccines would be working better at this point. And there's still some questions about the vaccines. It's not being rolled out as quickly as we thought. A lot of people are reluctant to get it. And all politics aside or anything, it just, what it means is, when you look at the numbers, is there's still a lot of uncertainty about what's going on in the market right now and what's going on with the coronavirus right now. So people, they really just don't want people in their house right now to sell their house. Now, buyers don't mind because if you're looking at one house or two houses, you go in, you wash your hands, you leave. And that's it. You don't touch anything. If you're selling your house in this market, you're going to have 40, 50 families in your house in 2 days. People are a little nervous about that, and understandably so. So, for that reason, people, are a little more reluctant to put their house on the market. So, that's Corona. So, now the other thing about is the lack of inventory. And one of the things that's driving that not only is COVID, but the other part is people don't want to sell their house because they can't find a house. So, I mean, you can sell your house easy right now, piece of cake. You throw a sign out there that says for sale. I mean, you could even put in, poster board with like purple crayon for sale, and it's gone right now. Problem is you can't find anything. And because of that, people aren't putting their houses on the market because they can't find anything. So for that reason, the people who are out there looking can't find anything because there's not a whole lot of houses on the market. So a lot of people who are looking for houses think to themselves, well, I'm not going to put my house on the market then. And it kind of causes a kind of domino effect of people just not listing because there's nothing out there to go to. So we need to get into a situation where we have more people on the market and we can kind of get some of these buyers into homes and alleviate the pressure on this market because like we talked about, the price is going up. It's all driven by supply and demand. Supply is extremely low. Demand is extremely high. It's the way economics works. The prices are going to be crazy. And they're 9%, 10% higher this year than they were last year for the entire year. So we say that to say it can't last forever. And I'm going to include an article that came in on USA Today talking about this, not only in Georgia, but I mean all across the country. The bubble is starting to kind of expand. And at some point, we're worried that it's going to pop. And at some point, will we see a drastic increase in number of homes on the market because of foreclosures? Are we going to see a drastic drop in prices because we just can't sustain this market? Things like that. So it's an interesting read talking about the different angles of that story. But really, the thing to watch over these next couple months is, the moratoriums on foreclosures and on the forbearances and things like that are going to continue to get pushed back a little bit to give people a little bit more time to get on their feet. However, those are homes that are going to come on the market and alleviate some of the pressure. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that. The unemployment is not coming back quite as strong as everybody thought. The COVID is not being alleviated as fast as some people were hoping. So a lot of stuff is being delayed. And the longer that stuff gets delayed, the longer we sit in this market, which is great if you're selling. You just got to find yourself somewhere to go. So if you can sell and go, I don't know, live in your house at the beach or go find something up in the mountains where it's not quite as crazy. I mean, maybe that's the key, but that's the issue right now, trying to get more homes on the market. So if you want to talk about it and kind of see what your options are, or if you want to just talk about the market, we always love talking real estate. Give us a call, 470-233-4409. This is Steve, Malone Realty Group, Keller Williams. Y'all be good. Bye.